With the whistle, the ball is rolling at SU Soccer Stadium. Siena looking for their first win. Syracuse haven't lost in 19 straight matches. That is the longest running streak in college soccer right now. Orange on the offensive front early with Edwards, D'Agostini, the lovely one-touch play. Shot early on in front of Cage and nobody there to tuck it home. One-touch link-up play early on from the Orange, putting on a show with no end product, but what a way to start that would have been, Jared.
D'Agostini looking for a shot or a pass. No one really knows there. I mean, he had a tough angle. If he had a runner on the back post, maybe you get that rebound.
Felipe D'Agostini into the starting 11 tonight in place of Jonah Leibold. Coach McIntyre says keeping Leibold fresh for the upcoming matches, and it is quite a tough task ahead for Syracuse. 4 straight ranked opponents after this one, but first they gotta get the W tonight. Siena's first chance on the offensive front. 3 in the box, doesn't get past Gavin Wigg at the front post. Back out to Edwards on the far side, who usually occupies the right-hand channel. Instead, it's Noah Singelman, the second-year captain, on the near side, and the pass for him is a little bit overhit. Jared, what can viewers expect to see out of Noah Singelman tonight? Because this is the first time he's in the starting 11 for 2023. He's only seen 2 matches off the bench so far this year.
He's a guy that's really good technically on the ball. Not necessarily one of the most fast players on the pitch, but what he does is hold up play well and know when to make those runs in behind. You can't telegraph them too much. You can't keep going, especially when you don't have much room to operate.
He appeared in every postseason match for the Orange last year, had over 1,800 minutes on the season. That was a career high for him. Comes Siena the other way. Junior Kone trying to hold it up. Has Cole Hellard in support, works the pass inside. Free man, one-on-one, the shot from distance saved. Jason Smith called into action early and denies Zach Gardner.
That's how Siena can make Syracuse pay. It's that transition play and the quick passing. Everyone with 2 touches up the sideline, and next thing you know, Nate Edwards is the last defender against 2 Siena players. It's a quick scare early on for the Orange.
Zach Gardner with his first year wearing the armband for Siena. Probably didn't think he'd find that much space, especially inside 5 minutes. But when we talked to Coach McIntyre about what to expect with Siena this week, he said this is a team that is not going to sit back. This is a team that is going to attack. They're fluid and they're aggressive. They're showing it early on, but they've got to play defense now. Managed to get the first cross away, but good back and forth early on. And there is Coach Ian McIntyre, who's been at the helm since 2010. What a job he did this offseason, bringing in so many new faces, a lot of them out there tonight. Kone. Check of the shoulder and a stride forward as well from Mellon. With Hellert now. First back with Svensson. Siena starting to settle into a rhythm a little bit as the rain starts to come down at SU Soccer Stadium. Changing the playing surface just a little bit. Space on the turn for Winkleman. Less than 5 minutes in, and the rain really didn't start until the ball was rolling. 77 degrees, still plenty warm here, but already the turf showing some signs of that heavy rainfall. Jared, how does that change the way that Syracuse builds up in transition?
It kind of eliminates transition entirely to a degree. The ball's going to skip so fast that if you make a pass that's too direct, too north-south, the surface is just going to allow the ball to skip forward. So you're going to see a lot more of plays to feet, a lot more quick passing, and not so much of plays over the top of defenses. So this changes the way maybe Syracuse and Siena would have attacked this matchup early. That chance you saw for the Saints early on, that's probably not going to happen until the rain stops.
Ben Bitan managed to pick out Kone. Junior Kone, the senior from Toulouse. Listed as a midfielder on the depth chart, but has really been the target man for the Saints early on in the season. Now for Mellon on the turn. Kone trying to settle, and he's straight offside in the process. And the head coach for Siena, Graziano Brito, in his 4th season in charge, has already had 16 players nominated for MAC individual honors. Shaping the identity of this program. Has a couple players on the field tonight that are underclassmen that he brought in, and a couple upperclassmen that were recruited by a previous coach. And for Coach Brito, he said it's all about unity, trying to get everyone to buy into the game plan. Edwards on the left foot. Swing and a miss, and it goes out for a corner.
Easy to settle here for Edwards. He always wants to get onto his favorite right foot, and that was what's deceptive about it. Not really expecting that left-footed cross from Edwards on his offside.
How about the Cruyff turn as well to get the separation on that weaker left foot? Gio Kaczewski to send it in to the back stick. There were a couple heads rising to meet it. One of them was Gavin Wigg.
Kind of collided with his own teammate here. Everyone hungry for that ball in the back post, and there's Oluoyegunle just right there on, basically right behind Gavin Wigg, so it's a bit difficult when it gets crowded.
Poor pass in the middle, intercepted by Levesque. Here's Felipe D'Agostini, back for Matteo Levesque. Options with him, tried to go himself. But early warning signs from Siena trying to build out from the back. Edwards doesn't have a lot of space. Managed to keep it in play, if only for a moment. Early miscommunication, but now finds its way back to Edwards. Overlapping ball, appeals for offside, not given, instead it's a corner. Gavin Wigg gets forward again, so too does Oluoyegunle. Two Orange players who were closest to the last chance. Giorgio Kaczewski has 3 assists on the year. It's another good ball in. And it required some action from Bennett Glinder.
That was going to curl into the goal, into the back post. Required a save from Glinder. Many fans remember that game against Vermont where Kirk Callov scored a goal directly from the corner kick. That thought really close to be sure into that back side netting.
UVM all the way up to number 12 in the new rankings as well. This time it's Levesque's turn from the corner to the front post, headed away. Second ball still in play. Appeals for the foul, and they're given. Graziano Brito was sprinting down the touchline. He had a perfect view of it, and Magnus Sabi doesn't know what he did wrong.
Brito's not happy about it, because really it's a coming together of players. The ball's bouncing up. Both players stick their feet out. Someone's going to get caught from it.
Is that a foul for you?
I think that both players kind of stuck their feet out there. I would call it 50-50 challenge. You know what you're getting into when your studs are up and you're trying to toe poke at the ball, but it's in Syracuse's favor.
Kaczewski and Singelman standing over it. It will be Kuchevsky to deliver. It's low, it gets through, and it gets into the hands of Glinder.
This is Kuchevsky's third try at a delivery after the 2 corner kicks. You keep it low, gives you a good chance to get a deflection, which he ultimately did, but Glinder was strong to it.
Kone underneath it, Luz intercepts. Syracuse go right the other way. Chipped ball in behind and a body in the way. Siena can't clear their lines. Now Edwards mounting the pressure for the Orange. Plenty of options in the box to choose from. Gunley's cross, can't pick out any of them. Jared early on, Siena struggling once again now to get the ball out of their own half. Luz. Short pass corralled well. To the top of the key, Levesque wants to try it, and it wasn't a million miles away.
Well, the Frenchman, he has great technique. Had a goal against Louisville. Always in those pockets of space behind the last line of defense, and that time he just leaned back a little bit too much.
Mateo Levesque, the UConn transfer, already with 1 goal and 2 assists to his name this year. Siena rolling into tonight off of a 3-1 loss to the Huskies. And again, that long ball out of the back for the Saints, not finding a jersey in green. Linder will have another bite of the apple. Wants to go long again. Instead, Sabi checks back. Svensson. Linder feeling the heat. Once again, the back line for Syracuse stepping up. Felipe DeAgostini has some space, plays it to his left. Had an option alongside him. Just didn't get the timing right.
Siena's quickly learning that you can't stretch the width of a pitch and then make the first bad pass out of the back against a Syracuse team.
Edwards clipping it long. Appeals for the foul will be given. Giorgio Kuchevsky getting into a much more forward space than we've seen from him this season, Jaron.
Well, last season he was kind of nestled with Anthony Sinclair, one of the captains of that national championship winning team. This year, you know, he has a bit of a different role. Mateo Levesque comes in, provides a bit of a different look. Not necessarily a box-to-box guy, but a distributor when it comes to making switches of play. And that allows Giorgio to kind of really manipulate the offense in a different way than he did in years past.
Svensson. Heller with his heels on the paint. Got it poked away by Singelman. Now Baselli. Uncharacteristically poor pass from the Italian. Baselli with 4 so far in the campaign, leading the Orange in that mark. Found the back of the net from the spot against then number 7 Louisville. Sabi. There's Carl Mellon now. There's a lot of space between the forwards for Siena and the back line. But the Saints not afraid to throw numbers up. Kone's one of them. Won it in the end, but falls to Oyegunle. Sent straight up from Smith. Great control as well from Gabby McKenna. About 15 minutes in between Syracuse and Siena from SU Soccer Stadium. Philip Galati with you alongside Jared Johnston. And Jared, surprised to see Siena throw so many forwards up on that Syracuse back line when they seem to be having a little bit of trouble building out from the back.
Well, there's 4 players in line with the Syracuse defense, and as long as the Orange aren't going to press Siena and let them hold the ball, the Saints are just fine with just whipping that ball forward and hopefully getting a fortunate bounce.
Physical challenge right at midfield. And upon first glance, it looked like Magnus Sabi got the ball there. Referee says, no way. Here's Gabriel McKenna. Intelligent run from D'Agostini. Early cross in, had to be dealt with. Now Junior Kone draws the foul. And early on, Jared, the whistle not afraid to be sounded.
You have to take control of discipline in a match when it's raining like this. Things can get out of hand, players can slip up. The challenge from Oyegunle, though, really took the body with the ball, so could have called it either way, but Siena gets the ball for itself and resets.
Svensson looking long. Kone flicked it on, but the run from Carl Mellon wasn't as advanced as he thought. Levesque intercepts, and the referee gets in the way. The head official tonight, J.C. Briggs. It is a newer rule in the laws of the game where if the official is struck with the ball, it's restarted with a dead ball scenario. Didn't used to be that way. Syracuse doing a better job now of connecting passes to feet. Singelman, McKenna. The rain's starting to get a little bit heavier now. The umbrellas pop up at SU Soccer Stadium. Players don't have that luxury. Edwards. It's a more measured tempo now from the Orange. Saw some frantic chances offensively early on. Bennett Glinder, the netminder for the Saints, had to tip over a corner. Other than that, hasn't really seen too much to do. McKenna once again. One-time ball from Singelman. Maselli got in the way, appealing for a corner. Referee says it went out for a throw instead.
Once again, fans, for those of you in the bleachers, for your own safety, please exercise caution when navigating the bleachers, when leaving or returning to the bleachers, and when necessary, please use handrails.
Siena pinned deep in their own half. They might be in trouble here. Maselli nearly broke free. He's still fighting for it. May have gotten a piece of that in the end. Now a chance for the Saints to stretch the width. Bogtengen. Cole Hellard is making the run on the near side, and the pass for Kone too strong. Siena not getting forward often, Jared, but when they do, it's the winger on the opposite side of the ball that seems to be finding a lot of space.
Well, Siena's not playing scared, and the biggest problem a lot of smaller teams, as far as personnel goes, have playing against Syracuse is when you make those counter-attacking runs, there's not a lot of space.
Appeals for the offside flag, not given early. Shot flashes wide. Through contact for a corner from Lorenzo Baselli.
But contrarily, if you're Siena, you have to be okay with taking risk. You leave yourself open to chances like this. If Baselli has this ball with a perfect touch in an ideal world, he's probably progressing towards goal. He does salvage a corner, though, again for Syracuse.
When we talked to Coach Brito earlier this week, he said, well, Syracuse is a different animal. We're going to be aggressive. We're not going to sit back. But we got to take our chances when we get them. Siena trying to do just that. We'll have to defend a corner first. Another good ball in. Sent away the first time of asking. Levesque trying to turn. Levesque going down. Levesque winning a foul. An industrious bit of play from the junior.
He does well to shield his body. He just turns off the ball, and whether he's falling on top of his marker or not, he wins a very dangerous free kick for Syracuse.
Giorgio Kaczewski to play it in once again. Seen a couple dangerous passes from him already. In-swinger, flicked on and flicked wide. Head and hands from Gabriel McKenna.
Gabby's always good at timing his runs. That time, it's not necessarily a run into the back post. He's just stagnant, waiting on that back line, and he gets freed up. Already has some pretty nice headed goals on the season so far.
McKenna, the transfer from Niagara, already has 2. High pass from Syracuse. Siena is feeling it. Baselli, single man, has space for the cross. Hit it low and hit it early. Syracuse not connecting that final pass. Looked like a foul, and it will be. It was Gabriel McKenna again getting forward from the back. Something that he wasn't really brought in to do, but has done so well so many times this season.
The more Syracuse presses forward, the more it's going to draw chances like that. I mean, Syracuse looked a lot more timid to start out the early goings of this game and allowed Siena to kind of counter-press it, but now it's the Orange in the driver's seat.
We've already seen 2 good crosses from a very similar position from Kaczewski. About halfway through the first, gets another opportunity. This one a little bit farther away. It is another very good cross. Siena dealing with it for now. Bouncing ball volleyed on through traffic and out for another SU corner.
Again, it's McKenna, and he's in the right place. Trailing that last line, gets separation, and fortunate bounce for him. He slips on contact. It's going to be difficult. Every minute that this match boils on with rain, it's going to be even harder to just stay on your feet and get chances like that. Even a glancing header on a corner kick is more difficult.
Eric Svensson a little bit shaken up. The sophomore who did not appear last year due to injury and is the only Saint to have started every game so far for Coach Brito. Already the 5th corner kick on the night for the Orange. Nobody afraid to get forward, too. Svensson is still on the touchline. He wants to go back in. Referee won't allow it just yet. Syracuse with a man-up opportunity from the corner. Low cross, flicked on! And flicked over. Lorenzo Baselli getting his head to it.
Baselli said he didn't think he'd start out his season with a bunch of headed goals, but now he's been keen to improve his game in that striker position. And playing up top, he has to make those creative runs, and just got a bit unlucky there.
Baselli had 2 goals with his head in the season opener against Providence. We asked him after the game, have you ever scored 2 headers in a game? And he said never. Senior, just 5'11". That wasn't really his role last year, Jared, but now one of the 2 strikers for the Orange, and his finishing, his positioning has changed drastically.
Noah Singelman there, just a bit too handsy on the Siena player there. I mean, at some point when you keep grappling with him and pressing that high, if you're not going to challenge into the ball, the foul gets called back.
It is quite a nasty storm cloud overhead. The rain showing no signs of slowing. Another poor pass. Levesque almost got to it. Heller dispossessed. Singelman keeps it in touch. Kaczewski trying to get a little too creative. Had the space to take that down. That looked like a foul in transition, and the referee stops it. Gavin Wigg retreats back to the back line. Jared, was there enough in that for a yellow card for you, or not really?
Tough to say. I mean, as this game goes on, maybe there's more to really judge, but so far it hasn't been too physical, enough to have cause to reprimand.
McKenna wins the throw. Now Levesque. Calmer play as Syracuse will try and switch the point of attack. Gavin Wig. Gets it back from Oyegunle. McKenna has some space this time. Looking to switch it all the way. Levesque got in the way. Mellon now. Asking a lot of that pass. Oyegunle over quickly. Not a good clearance at the first time, has work to do. Oyegunle trying to turn his man. Another pass that was off of a Siena player last. Space for the shot from Mellon. And Jason Smith was flat-footed.
He's been tested a few times in this game, and here the Syracuse defense just stands there. You get caught ball watching, and well.
And the man we talked about before this contest got underway, Nicholas Kalukian, gets his first couple minutes tonight. He started every other match this season. He has a chance to get forward now. Levesque's pass intercepted. Bitan striding forward. The ball finds Kone. Bitan open at the back post. Junior Kone working on his right. Save from Jason Smith. Still not cleared away. Second opportunity, Smith there again. Nervy sequence for the Orange. Not so much when they have Jason Smith in between the pipes. Siena starting to find some pockets of space now. And in transition, Jared, the Saints play very quickly.
Jason Smith's had more to do than a lot of those early games. You think of the Binghamton game, and Siena, a team that hasn't won yet this season, is pulling off a lot of surprises against Syracuse. Again, it's about taking chances. When you have the ball up in an advanced position, are you going to commit numbers forward? And Siena has done that, and so far been doing so strategically well.
Syracuse stopped once again. Bogtengen, sliding challenge into the boards. That one looked rough. It looked like Zach Gardner, who was slow to get up after that challenge. The man who had the chance for Siena just a handful of minutes into this one.
We're going to see a lot more of that slip and slide as the rest of this half transpires. So players just have to be a bit more confident on the ball. You make the right pass, and the margins are kind of slim, because any misstep that you take, your pass goes awry.
Another change for the Orange as Daniel Diaz-Bonilla enters the fray. Noah Singelman will take a seat for now. Diaz-Bonilla, the Princeton transfer, who has been getting consistent minutes off the bench in every contest this season. Early on, it was attacks that were going down the far side channel for the Orange. It's shifted a little bit more to the near side. First, Diaz-Bonilla has to play some defense. Hellert with the moves. Gets the pass away and gets a foul, too.
Good early minutes from Diaz-Bonilla. Really not much of that challenge at all. Steps in, gets his right foot, pushes himself through the ball, and it is a Siena free kick, but Still a good challenge for Diaz-Bonilla to get stuck into the match.
Elsewhere in the ACC, NC State has taken a 2-0 lead over Howard just 25 minutes in. NC State, the last home match for Syracuse this season. Last one in the regular season anyways. That'll be on October 22nd. Jared, we were looking at the coaches poll earlier today and how much movement there was, especially with those ACC teams. Doesn't get any easier for the Orange going forward. You've got number 20 Wake up next on the road, then a rematch against number 25 Cornell. Lorenzo Baselli is offside. It was very close. It looked like Thomas Sams on the far side kept him on, but the referee had the best angle.
Well done, Gabby. Tighter, Daniel, tighter.
Already you can hear how much Coach McIntyre directs his team. Never seems to be speechless. Always demanding more of his players. Always tweaking the game plan. So too does Siena. 4-2-3-1 on paper, but much more fluid from the Saints early on. Wig. McKenna thought about going himself. Instead uses Diaz-Bonilla. Lose on the loose ball, committing a foul against Junior Kone.
Luz has some words to say. I mean, that's where he operates, in the middle of the park. And ultimately, it's just about coming in from behind and kind of tapping the back of his leg.
We spoke to Devin Kerr a little bit earlier this week, who has watched plenty of college soccer, and asked him which player really stands out on this Orange roster, and he didn't even hesitate. He said Josh Balouz. The way he plays, the intensity of his game, and the IQ of his positioning. He can help out on defense, he can help out in midfield. Never shies away from a 50-50 challenge. Couple more changes on the way as well. Nate Edwards on the far side, replaced by Michael Susky.
Substitution for Syracuse, number 99, Michael Susky.
Ben Biton subbed out for Anthony Rouse. And Jack Mendrisa entering the game as well for Siena.
Substitutions for Siena.
And let's welcome the head coach of the Orange, Ian McIntyre, to the broadcast. Coach, saw some chances early on. It's petered out a little bit, but what have you seen from the boys so far?
No, I think, look, we know that we've got, we're in for a fight tonight. It's a good Siena team, and look, they're playing through our press, and we're getting half chances. We just need to be a little bit smarter.
And Coach, looking at that as far as how you hold on to the ball, and Siena is really spread out the width of the pitch. How are you going to try to counter what they've done as far as being expansive?
Oh, I think we're doing a good job of creating some chances. It's about now executing and not just kind of settling for that ball from Giorgio.
Coach, thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
So some good takeaways from Coach McIntyre. Half chances. That's what's really described this match so far. Syracuse had 19 shots against then number 7 Louisville. They moved up to number 5 in the rankings today, but haven't really been converting a lot of them, and that's something that stood out on a couple other results this season, namely the 3-0 win against Binghamton. The Orange only scored 1 at home against Albany. And Jared, so far tonight, a little bit of a similar story in terms of not getting a ton of chances one-on-one with the keeper.
Well, that's why I like the changes. We highlighted Nicholas Kalukin at the start of the game. He started every other game but this one, so there's new matchups in with all these substitutions. Can you kind of mix and match and see if things change? It's a bit more of a pressing style or whatever personnel works in. I mean, that's the biggest question in these final minutes of the first half.
Jesper Schoen Vogtengen, the junior from Norway. A little bit shaken up.
It's Baselli who only gets a tiny bit of him. It's just coming across him. Not enough to really warrant anything more than a foul.
And Jared, you mentioned the new matchups. Baselli has gone over to the far side now. Nicholas Kalukian took off Felipe D'Agostini, who was over there on that left touch line. Now Kalukian closer to the right side. One pass forward, intercepted by Diaz Bonilla. Jasper Paez was making the run forward. We'll have to track back now. Time and space for Susky. Working it wide. Options getting forward for the Orange. Another good cross. Missing the final touch once again. Daniel Diaz Bonilla a half second too late.
It almost looked like he wasn't expecting it to drop and curl so far. He just had to reach out there, and by the time he saw the ball come to him, he ran out of space on the end line.
Pablo Pedregosa has lined up to come into the contest for the Orange. So a defensive change waiting in the wings. Touch for Kalukian, a little strong, Svensson's there. Time now for Winkleman. Big pass from the captain. Creative touch that Balouz was able to get to first. Followed up by Gavin Wigg. The referee stops things to have a word with Magnasabi. Coach McIntyre was furious, literally jumping up and down. He wanted to restart play quickly.
Well, that's the first warning of the match given. An otherwise pretty even keel match between both sides. Sometimes it just has to be done.
Glinder. Blues contesting. Blues getting it back. Giving it away. Carl Mellon, the freshman for Siena, has been working overtime in that engine room so far. As it looks like now is the time for Pablo Pedregosa to substitute into the match. Olu Oyegunle will take his seat and immediately get some instructions. Mateo Levesque, Diaz Bonilla. Wanted the 1-2, didn't get it. Finds its way to McKenna. Now Balouz. Option to switch the play. Space in midfield. It's a long way away. And it's just a little bit wide.
You have to think to yourself. You got to think to yourself, why not at this point? All offense has kind of stagnated over the last 10 minutes, and got to try to get shots on net. But this is going to be interesting here in the final goings of this first half, because we mentioned Pablo Pedregosa, who just substituted in, and he's playing as the left center back. But what you're going to see is him inverting and almost playing as a midfielder when Syracuse has the ball. So watch for 2 center backs in the back for Syracuse when in possession and 3 out of possession. See if that can change things. Still at the 0-0 score.
Sent forward by Winkleman. Coming together in midfield, finds its way to Carl Mellon once again. Balouz intercepts, the ball escapes him. Won it back on the sliding challenge. Siena finding the way to play through the press just a little bit. Here comes Syracuse. First time ball. The goalie out to collect. Bennett Glinder smartly off his line. was Nicholas Kalukian breaking in behind the defense. Hasn't gotten that first sight of goal just yet. Hellard all the way wide and went down. The referee can't play advantage. Magnus Sabi really wants a yellow card. It was Jack Mendrisa, rather, who hit the turf.
Yeah, Vendrisa was kind of pushed into his own teammate there. Just trying to get around Belouz, who stands his ground. Nothing malicious there, but a foul at the very least for Siena.
Coach Brito asking for an explanation. Still no yellow cards just yet. That will be the matchup to watch going forward. Jack Mendrisa against Josh Belouz. An immediate response in terms of temper of this match. Belouz leaving his feet once again. Syracuse with a chance to step up now. Sam's back for Glinder. Now with Svensson. A couple players checking back for it. First time pass picked away by McKenna. Referee will bring things back for the throw-in as the only freshman on this roster, Ezra Widman, takes off Lorenzo Baselli.
I like the look of this here. Give the freshman some minutes and came really close to scoring a goal a few games ago. A really technically sound player that's going to sit himself in the midfield and maybe sniff out some chances in the attacking third. Although it looks as if he's all the way up top at the moment, so different look for Ezra Widman.
Belouz urged to shoot, he'll try it! Bennett Glinder had to get across his line.
Almost the likes of a moving screen here from Kalukian. You might think that he was going to go for a backheel flick. And whether he wanted to let it go or didn't, it challenged Glinder.
It's a well-placed shot from Belouz. One goal on the year against Binghamton. Beck plays the short corner. Kuchevsky clipping it toward Belouz. A little bit high for him. Still alive on the far side. Good win by Nick Fernandez. Trying to start the counter for the Saints. Not many options to pick out. Paul Mellon eventually dispossessed. Opportunity for Syracuse right the other way. Getting a little bit more frantic in terms of quick attacks for both sides. Belouz going in hard again. And again. And getting the whistle against him.
That was the right call there on the second chance. Belouz gets up. And there's shoves going both ways. Belouz with a fair challenge in the first one, but the second chance, he gets up right off his feet at the end of that replay and pulls his man down.
Belouz was a starter all 4 years at Villanova. Had a couple injuries last year that prevented him from seeing a lot of the pitch, but a consistent starter for Coach McIntyre. When we spoke to him earlier this week, he said, well, that Louisville game, that 2-2 draw, the top 10 matchup, that was Belouz's best game in a Syracuse jersey thus far. Under 4 minutes to go in the first frame from SU Soccer Stadium. Siena have gotten well forward for the first time in a while. It only lasted a couple moments. Ezra Widman all got away from him. Kuchevsky leading the press now. Space for Mellon to turn. Good interception by McKenna. Blues try to get creative. Susky leaving it. Kalukian. Now Michael Susky wanting to take on some players. Managed to skip away from a couple. Kuchevsky cutting back for it. Blues shows short and receives the pass. Now McKenna. One more time for Diaz-Bonilla. Into the area. Bounced off the top of the 6-yard box.
Better from Syracuse, but not many runners. Everyone's making that play to the outside, and got to have more than one guy in there.
Thomas Sams may have just gotten the faintest of touches. A loud cry from the back.
There's really nothing there.
You heard it from here.
Maybe you embellish a bit of the contact with a yell at times and you get what you want.
We saw the leg go up from Pedro Gosa and was wondering how bad it was going to be, but in the end, Magnus Sabi doing enough to win a free kick for Siena. Linder sending it deep. Blues first to it once again. Pedro Gosa telling Blues to switch it, and he does. Kuchevsky. Whitman made the run but didn't get the ball. Instead, it's Diaz-Bonilla with the step over and the cutback and the cross. Was it kept in play? Yes, it was. Henrik Linder with a bit of good goalkeeping.
Smart by him not to push it aside. He holds on to it. He has every right to hold on to this ball as much as he can and exhaust time for Siena, the team that's played a really solid half of soccer thus far.
Second ball escapes Levesque. Now Svensson. Right to Diaz-Bonilla. Picks out Kuchevsky. 1-2 for Diaz-Bonilla. First time cross at the front post. And the angle just wasn't on for Kalukian.
Again, it's another chance for Diaz-Bonilla where he's just reaching a bit too far. The ball is either, one, a bit too far ahead of him, or two, he needs to take an extra step and get around it because he's already falling as he makes the play.
He had 4 goals and 3 assists last year. The former second-team All-Ivy selection. Hasn't seen a ton of time off the bench tonight, but has made the most of it so far. Just missing that end product.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
One more shot from distance, and it'll go wide, and the horn will sound. Scoreless through 45 at SU Soccer Stadium. Syracuse with the lion's share of possession and creating plenty of danger, but in the end, doesn't seem to be too shaken up by the absolute downpour that is hitting Syracuse right now. Mateo Levesque saw some quality passes in that first 45. He'll look to do the second. The ball rolling once again at SU Soccer Stadium. So Jared, we talked about the rain when it started, about changing the playing surface. 45 minutes of rain later, it seems to have gotten a little bit more aggressive.
This doesn't just change the surface now, this changes visibility, this changes a ton of things. This ball is not just gonna skip, it's also gonna get caught up in the ground. Depending on how wet it gets in patches, the ball might even be slowed down if the rain starts to puddle up.
The stars and stripes seeming to billow in the wind a little bit too, as that has kicked up a notch.
Overall, though, the rain makes things fun. I mean, players grow up, you have different conditions, but the rain, so challenging, but also slide over and over again. You make those sliding challenges. It kind of helps you. If you can't get to the ball first with some extra speed, you can literally just go to ground.
Yeah, it's raining pretty hard, to say the least, but a couple of the younger players from the Syracuse Development Academy don't seem to mind. No umbrellas for them. The SDA being recognized by Syracuse soccer today, and plenty of local youth players in the stands. On the sidelines for Syracuse, Yuka Masalan has spent some considerable time with the SDA, a man who joined Coach McIntyre for the Orange back in 2010 and has been at the #2 spot since 2014. Glinder, look for that long pass. He just about got it away. Here, Gunley to meet it. Tengen lets it run. Now here, Gunley having to check back. Going down. Schoberg there to clean it up. Booster Schoberg replacing Gavin Wigg. Other than that, it's the same starting 11 for Syracuse from the first half. Shot from distance going to be called back for offside. Ben Biton wasn't afraid to try his luck before the flag denied him. Jared, we were speaking at halftime. It was the first 5 minutes of the first half that was chaotic. You said there might be some similar chaos in the first 5 of the second. Edwards looking to provide it. A curler to the far post. Fantastic stop by Glinder with his left hand.
Now's the time for Syracuse to get aggressive. You can put Siena on its heels. A Saints team that played terrific in the first half, but now the second half's challenged by even more rain. If you can put pressure on them, this is the team that's going into the house of the reigning national champions.
First corner of the second frame towards Schoberg, bouncing down. And out for a goal kick. Coach Brito had some positive things to say before the half. Already barking out orders at Zach Gardner.
It's interesting, he's kind of like a glass half empty guy. We spoke with him earlier in the week, and even at halftime, what he said about his team, it's great, you get chances, but you have to put them away. You can't get caught out. He's always looking on that next step, especially in that conscious of rebuilding a program. How can you get players to just get a little bit better every day? And so far, they've been very good through 50 minutes.
Pass to the top of the key, one-time ball, moves it along. This is promising, and it had to be cut away. Syracuse again asking questions.
Levesque had the ball glued to his left foot, but couldn't just lift it over his marker.
Zach Gardner trying to direct traffic in defense. He'll have a chance to get forward now and chase this ball down. Goes by him. Instead, it's with Baselli. Lorenzo Baselli gets it back. Went off his foot last. Maybe it didn't. The Siena players certainly thought so. Svensson with a no-nonsense clearance. You can see every time the ball hits the grass, the amount of water that splashes up from it. The ball just dying on the playing surface. Logtingen getting away. Mellon wants help. Moved along by Gardner. Went off of Mellon in the end. Chevsky can't restart quickly. Should be a yellow card for delaying the restart for Thomas Sams. That's what Coach McIntyre is asking for. And you have to say, Jared, he's got a case.
And so far, no bookings. The referees mostly kept a lid on things.
Whistle sounds from the main man tonight, J.C. Griggs, once again. Chevsky opting to play it quick with Edwards in support. Agostini on the overlap, lost his footing, but wins the corner.
And these set pieces are so crucial if you're Syracuse. When you can't move the ball up the pitch because the conditions are so wet, have one on a set piece.
Corner number 8 for the Orange. Lofted to the back stick. A little bit too long in the end.
And the Orange have been really good when they loop that ball to the near post. So it's kind of interesting to go to the far post. Kalukian was on his back foot and couldn't really head that ball back across the frame of goal.
You can see the water starting to pool right on the goal mouth. And it's like that on both ends of the pitch. So a new factor for both of these goalkeepers to take into play. Mateo Levesque looking to switch. Edwards finds it through the rain. And immediately that ball just sits on a waterlogged playing surface. Gets to the far side and the cross mishit.
The players are adjusting now. You learn you got to put a bit more oomph on the passes, but not on that cross, just sailing over the bar. Last 5 minutes or so, both teams now really learning, all right, rain's been heavy as it's been the entire match. You got to figure out how to not put too much sauce on the ball, but overall Syracuse still struggling to push that ball into the attacking third.
Water kicked up by the sliding challenge, and Lorenzo Baselli gets free. Baselli stopping it on a dime, needing support and getting it with Oya Gunley. Flipped in by Baselli, headed out towards Mateo Levesque. Thought he had space for a touch and shot. Magnus Sabi went down, but the referee lets play go on. Kuchevsky saw him very advanced in the first half. He's dropped back a little bit now. And the ball unable to keep up with Kuchevsky's speed. Baselli under hits the pass. The players getting used to the new playing surface. You've got to hit the ball just 25–30% harder.
Watch for Syracuse to move it out wide. The only way to get a chance maybe is just crossing this.
It is a good cross, headed on. And Kalukian was unable to contort his body to get it on frame. So the rain evident to see on Kalukian's kit. Look at how much water was kicked up from the slide. Bogtengen in a water park of his own, and the referee might have to address the weather situation. Official tonight, J.C. Griggs, doing the right thing, calling both coaches over and saying, hey, we got to reassess this playing surface that we've been talking about so much. And it seems like, for now, play will resume, but that might not be the case for very long.
Yeah, the center official talking about trusting his judgment here, seeing when the pitch gets waterlogged. It's really, really wet on the outside flanks. If you're Siena, I mean, this is not to say that you're playing for the draw, because Coach Brito has said is got to be aggressive, but the rain plays to your favor against the defending national champs that have not only fallen in the rankings, Philip, but still sit at a 0-0 score against a team that hasn't won yet in the regular season.
Coach Brito and Coach McIntyre seem to be exchanging some amicable words, and we got confirmation from the fourth official that play will continue, but we are nearing that point of a delayed match.
Some of the players are surprised that it's actually going on. The captain, Noah Singelman, there just...
If this game reaches the 70-minute mark, meaning 20 left on the clock, the game will be considered official. So about 16 to go until enough has been played for the result to count. They will go on regardless. Baselli shoved off in the box. Good defending from Bitan. Trying to spring the counter with Mendraisa. Mendraisa committing the foul.
These are these challenges now where players have to watch out. Mendraisa extending his elbow there, but also just following through McKean in the challenge. Players have to be careful here on this slick surface.
The ball slowing down right in front of Edwards. Gets a good cross in. Headed down, not dealt with yet by Svensson. Now to the far side. Mendraisa trying to get free. Instead, Mateo Levesque comes across to cover. The force as to how these players are hitting the passes evident on their expressions. Baselli, and the referee, I think, might have seen enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to the weather,
And he in fact has.
This game has been postponed. We regret and apologize for the inconvenience. We thank you for coming. And we urge you to please drive extremely careful on your way home.
And with that, tonight's game is over and done with. The result is not official. Not sure yet whether the game will be rescheduled or played from the 34-47 mark. But as of right now, it's nothing to go on either of these two teams' schedules. A second half caught in a torrential downpour sees the stoppage of play between Syracuse and Siena. So here are the NCAA rules on suspended games. The game did not progress past the 70-minute mark. So thusly, it will be considered no contest. And at minute 56, the center official tonight, J.C. Griggs, has called it. So that is the end. The final whistle sounds. That'll do it for us tonight here at SU Soccer Stadium. The rain stopping what could have been a 20-game unbeaten streak at home for the Orange. The longest in college soccer stays alive. For everybody behind the scenes, for our producer Christian Hennessy, alongside Jared Johnston, I've been Philip Galati saying thanks so much. Stay dry.